So we come to the 27th and 28th move of this whole 35 sequence, hypno, yoga, Pilates, Qigong sequence, a mixture of all the breaths. I go into more detail with the breath. We've done basically just movements from the 8 brocades at the beginning and an 18 form Qigong sequence, and now we've just finished that, so that's 26 moves in all. And we're moving on to the 27th and 28th move. So open up the next form with a basically Tai Chi beginning, and then I'm going to do them together rather than doing a whole take on Tai Chi beginning and end. They're very similar, and go straight into the second move of this 9 sequence form at the end. So it's 3 forms together, an 8 form, 18 form Qigong sequence, and a 9 form sequence that I picked up in the Himalayas. Again, 35 moves. You can do these segmentally, because I go more into depth with the breathing, because again I've just took the movements from these and not done these traditionally, so again it's optional. Again, this second move, this 9 form sequence that finishes the whole 35, is called Green Dragon Whips Its Tail. So they've kind of got some funny far out names, but again, main thing on going to the breathing. Again, the motion is really basic with this. I'm not going to the meridians like the traditional forms. Like I've done all the sort of meridians and the organs that they're linked to traditionally, etc., on other tapes. But again, I'm just putting that breathing with that movement. So let's get the breathing even before we start. So we're gonna start with a Pilates setup. We're gonna zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. Then muscles go together. You can't do one without the other. The only way to explain the pelvic floor is your long journey, you'll go to the toilet, that's your pelvic floor. Okay, again, your corset muscle is 3 layers deep, what we call the transverse abdominis, the corset muscle, and that links like cling film to the pelvic floor. Okay, so they go together. You can't do one without the other. Again, the best way is if you get the thumbs along the hips there. From the hips, you go along and they meet in the middle. That's the line. That's the B line here, the B line. And if you go there, going to come back a little bit. You see this B line here. If you cough or sneeze, everything comes in. And you can feel the pelvic floor go and the corset muscle go. Okay, so again, that gives you a bit of an awareness, and that awareness will help you know where they are. But now, as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals right now, and breathe in through the nose, and exhale through pursed lips as you're still zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals. Right now, you'll feel that breath going low and deep to these lower lobes of lungs, your intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. Can even to see that, you can get these 2 middle fingers touching underneath the xiphoid process, the sternum, the breastbone, and as you still zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals and breathe in through the nose and exhale through pursed lips. So you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips. That's going to help you breathe low and deep into these lower lobes of lungs, your intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. So much though you feel these 2 middle fingers slightly parting and coming back to touch each other. Again, them fingers are just moving like seaweed on the bottom of the seabed, and that just lets you know that breath right now as you do that is coming into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. And that's what we call lateral thoracic breathing, what you're doing right now, because there's nowhere else the breath to go apart from into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. Okay, and that helps us use our pelvic floor and our corset muscle in the most efficient manner, helping us breathe anywhere but the belly button, helping us breathe low and deep into these fish gills, 3D style. You've got them hands there, you feel them fingertips just moving like seaweed on the bottom of the seabed, and you can take the hands down and just be safe in the knowledge you're breathing into them lower lobes of lungs. And that will help us use that pelvic floor and that corset muscle, the transverse abdominis, 3 layers deep, the corset muscle, wrapping around our spine, that are both segmentally stabilising our spine, in the most efficient manner, helping us breathe anywhere but the belly button. Okay, so again, as you keep on breathing through the nose as you're doing that and exhaling through pursed lips, as if you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips, that will be your Pilates breathing, okay? So again, if you want to sort of, we go down into the yogic path, we close the mouth and go in and out through the nose. Again, there's lots of different types of yogic breath, but we go similar-ish, a bit of a mixture here. So we're going to still zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, but what we're doing now is changing the whole length of the breath. As we close the mouth, it's a smaller filter through the nose, so that helps us lengthen the breath, the whole will cycle of the breath. Okay, because it's a smaller filter for the nose, that helps us lengthen the breath. So as in the yogic asanas, that nice length of the breath will help us get into them postures even easier. Okay, lovely. So again, nice filter and breath. Again, we go down the hypnotic path a little bit. So again, as you're breathing through the nose and you're letting the out breath go out through the nose, as you still zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, you'll feel you want to let the out breath go longer than the in breath. So just allow that to happen and consciously take your mind to that out breath and elongate the out breath longer than the in breath. Within your limits, not forcing anything. Quadruple it, double it, triple it, whatever you like. Just make the out breath longer than the in breath within your comfort zone. And as you do that, that will stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. So as you breathe in, it's conscious thought. As you exhale, it's subconscious thought. So by extending the out breath longer than the in breath, we're encouraging sleep, digestion, rest, and relaxation, all on that lovely elongated out breath. Lovely. So we've got a little bit of a mixture of all the stuff there. But again, if you want to take that yogic breath on a little bit more, and you can do, make it a little bit advanced. If you can't, don't worry. Just carry on doing what you're doing, zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose while you're elongating the out breath longer than the in breath. But if you want to take that on a little bit more to advanced yogic breath, we can go into Ujjayi breath, victorious breath in Sanskrit. And we just breathe in through the nose, and again, the only way to do that is so you can hear it. We're breathing in, we're gripping the esophagus, narrowing the esophagus, and we breathe in through the nose, and it's like a... Get them shoulders down, and as it's sort of like Darth Vader breath, like going with the mouth shut. It's like sighing, whistling, silky breath. So as you still keep that going, if you can add this in, great. If you can't, carry on breathing with us in and out through the nose as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. But if you can add this Ujjayi breath, and feel free as you breathe in and you exhale, you'll feel that raspy sound from the back of the throat. Again, seashell breathing. Again, it gives the mind something to focus on. It's really focusing breath. You sometimes do that naturally when you focus on a fine motor skill, etc. But we're overemphasizing that focusing breath. So as you do that right now, if you can, then that's going to give you something more to focus on and hear, okay? And that's going to also help, again, once more, lengthen that whole will cycle of the breath, especially that elongated out breath. Okay, lovely. And as you elongate the out breath longer than the in breath, doing that Ujjayi breath, breathing through the nose and exhaling through the nose. But again, if you can't get that, don't worry. But if you can get the Ujjayi breath, great. That'll help us build the heat within the body even more, help us fan the fire even more, to burn all the toxins in the body. Ujjayi breath, victorious breath. Okay, lovely. That helps also help us stimulate the thyroid gland, which helps us weight control, etc. Help us build the heat in the body, help us fan the fire, burn all the toxins in the body. Lovely. Ujjayi breath. That gives you something to focus on. And again, the opening motion, as with all forms, because it's open, again, this is the beginning of another form, the finish, the whole 3 forms. Again, it's just a basic motion. To open up, it's a... You keep the knees nice and soft and relaxed, rooting yourself in, keep hands relaxed, shoulders relaxed. You breathe in and you exhale. Make the second motion a slower, longer motion that matches that out breath. Okay, again, as you wipe the mist away from your day, breathing in. Lovely. So that would be number 27 in the whole 35, or the first of the first of the last form, last of the 3 forms. And then the second move would be green dragon whip, so it's tail, nice motion. Within the form, they focus on the little finger to the heart meridian. Again, we're not going to do that. We're just going to mix the breath to the motion in vinyasa, breath synchronized movement in Sanskrit. So all it basically is a breathing in and exhale to the sides. Okay, so again, I'll go back so you can see that. So it's a... and you breathe in. If you want to make a bigger motion of that, and you ain't got any problems with the knees, etc., you breathe in and you sink deeper, but no deeper than knees and neither toes. Keep them Iyengar yoga principles, or less if you like. Basically, only going as deep as you like, as of all Qigong postures or Tai Chi. Exhale, and again you breathe in and exhale, nice and long, as if you're sort of... Again, wringing out all the tension from the body on that exhale, allowing the stresses to purge from the body on that elongated out breath. Breathing for the nose and exhale. Lovely. Be aware of the sound of the breath, the feel of the breath as it weaves that tapestry of relaxation in every single organ, cell, sinew of the body, allowing that relaxation to soak into every single organ, cell, sinew of the body at will. Like ink through blotting paper. Lovely. So again, that's that one. So the third move would be white crane spreads its wings, but that was the second move, the last of the 3 forms, okay, the 9 form, and that is basic. That was the second. Sorry, that's the first and the second move of the last form of the 3 forms, and it's the 27th and 28th move. The 29th move, or the next one, will be white crane spreads its wings. Bang. But